having too much fun off screen. Oh, sorry. Oh, so, well, welcome everyone in Classical Archives world. Here I am, Opera Joe, and today we are celebrating the Verdi Chorus Spring 2022 concert, Hélas, mon Coeur, or Alas, my heart, which actually comes from a very serious place. We don't want to make too much marvel of it because, as we know, we're at war, we're coming out of COVID, we've lost the tenor to Verdi. But that always happens. Verdi succumbs many tenors. And of course, he's our hero. We're going to be doing some pieces from his operas, along with some other jewels and gems. And I'm here today with all the guest soloists who are Verdi Chorus veterans and stars of their own making. So we're very excited today to have with me Julie Makerov, Todd Wilander, Roberto Perlas Gómez, who will be singing the solo entries into the Verdi Chorus's celebration of their 39th season, which I know Ann Ketchum is very excited about. We spoke about a month ago about it, and how she really wants the chorus to emerge and do its job in terms of entertaining. And in terms of entertaining, I think Verdi and you together now. Okay, I like that. I like that. Hey, Papa.
Stop it, Todd.
Very nice.
Il tenore. Yes, succumb to Verdi, as I said. So, Julie, let's start with you as our prima diva. Please tell us what you're going to be singing. And first, tell us a little bit about yourself, where you are now. We were just talking about you singing Senta in LA. So tell us a little bit about what's going on with your career.
Well, I have, oh goodness, what I call my career long. I don't know. It's a medium length career. It started somewhere around 2002, and I've been really fortunate to sing in very fine houses, very fine. I've been very fortunate to sing with finest conductors and directors and singers, and grow my repertoire in a helpful way, and not rush into things too early. So I feel like these days I'm able to sing kind of more of what I had on my wish list when I was 25 and 30 and even 30, I'm kind of there, yeah. But it wasn't without, you have to take your steps to do that, right?
Well, you're smart enough to know that, but a lot of sopranos don't seem to be these days, and it's interesting. I mean, how do you consider, just a little, vocal talk, but what do you kind of see as those benchmarks? Is it
well, I'm going to give you an example of what not to do. For example, I was offered the role of Turandot, and I coached it. And every time I coached it, the coach, and these were coaches that I knew, my voice teacher and my coaches, they knew me very well, and they kind of had that like kind of look on their face, like and I'm like, what are you not telling me? You have to be pretty perceptive, because they're not going to say, yeah, it's not, this is not good for you, right?
Right.
Too soon, it's not right, blah, blah, blah. And so as I was asking people, it doesn't feel exactly perfect, but I'm going to rely on your ears too. How you have to have good people around you who tell you the truth. That's a really important part. Yeah. And most everybody said you can, but should you? Maybe not. And it was in fact the only contract I canceled in 18 years. Wow. I never called in sick, never, and I never canceled, but that was the one that I canceled. I'm really glad I did, because steps like that can cause damage. Right? But the Wagner roles seem to fit. They fit. Sieglinde, Zenta, these are things that they're very different though than that. Very different. So you just have to be able to navigate what's a healthy challenge and what's kind of leading you into not so healthy. But this, you asked me what I was singing on the concert, and what we can expect to hear.
Yeah.
I had a request for Anne-Marie, and she said, "Oh, we want to do the concert that we didn't do in COVID." Oh, fantastic. Okay, great. And I had put in a request because I'd never been able to sing this aria. And I have always wanted to. Bucket list stuff, not everybody, but people who love opera know it. It's La Mamma Morta from Chénier. And
Intense.
I was never a big enough girl to do, I was, but it takes a certain maturity to do that. And I was like, you know what? It's finally time. I'm putting my hat in the ring. Here I go. So,
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be something for everyone to look forward to. I love it. How about you, Todd? Tell us a little bit about where you've been and where you're going, and what you'll be singing.
Well, I'm looking forward to obviously singing with these two dear old friends. Don't shake your head, Robert. You know you're looking forward to it as well. COVID put a wrench in things, but it also at least gave me a time to now reset the voice and to refocus on things, and everything Julie said is right on the mark. And I would just add to that some things like my career has been singing at the beginning the Rossini higher tenor repertoire, the Mozart repertoire, bringing in Donizetti, and just being careful because it's easy to sing big rep too fast and blow it out. I remember I was offered a Butterfly 15 years ago, and Joan Dorneman, who's a famous coach in New York at the Met, and she said to me, darling, you'll have to sing against 6 French horns at full volume. You will never be heard. And I thought, oh, you're right. That's good. So it's pacing. It's learning when to do things. So I've now moved into Norma. I've done that now a few times in performance. And actually on this concert with the Verdi, I'll sing for the first time any bits of Fidelio, along with Julie. I've never done that aria before, and I've never done the duet with her, but that's now where my voice really sits, is a little bigger repertoire. So that's one of the joys of having done the Verdi chorus, is that we can sing, like she mentioned, the La Mamma Morta, the different repertoire that to kind of test things out. Of course, we're not doing it at full costume with the full orchestra, but still okay, I can do this A to Z 2 nights in a row. I can push myself into some bigger things. And a couple weeks, I'm actually in New York right now. I just did an audition last week at the Met and was offered the understudy, which is a way a lot of us get our foot back into bigger houses, but the understudy of the role of Eric in The Dutchman, Fine Dutchman. So
wow,
that's
congrats.
exciting.
Yeah.
So that's really cool for next season.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yeah, so it's cool. So I'm not singing it unless we can figure out what the guy's allergic to. What? I didn't say that. But but to be at a big house and to get to the level of them considering you to be worthy, able, whatever the label is, to go on at that high of a level, it feels good on that. Yeah. To be an understudy, it's a funny thing though, because you're the least important person unless something goes wrong. Then you're really an important person there, But and Julie's experience.
Well said.
It's very true. They don't know who you are unless they need you. So
and then they learn fast, and then they love you.
And then they love you, and then you're great. So I think it's taking those steps and figuring what the correct rep is on the time. So I'm excited to sing the Fidelio. I've also never sung. I'm singing the aria from Gioconda, the Cielo e Mar. Very famous tenor. Never sung that before. So it's kind of nice to be able to do things and test them out, and also have a chance to perform. There's so little opportunities to really do quality work with good other, fantastic colleagues, and also a good chorus. It's nice to do it with.
And a loving audience,
a loving audience that's appreciative to hear live performers and to know that, one thing on this, I think it's different when we're performing a full opera and we have a costume and we have makeup and we have sets, and we can, maybe not say that high note perfect by doing something else. But when you're doing this kind of a concert, it's like with an oratorio, there's nothing. There's just you and the piano. So you got to really, it's all about you and your physicality and your voice and making sure the instrument's doing what it needs to do and just putting it out there.
Beautiful. Beautiful. Yeah. Roberto, Roberto, what's your role with these nefarious people here?
Oh, careful. There's stories there.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is probably my 15th, 16th, performance with the Verdi chorus. And what's really great about them is that there's always a gamut of repertoire. There's always a different, there's always a different type of program that Anne-Marie puts together. And I find, at least for myself, that my voice sort of changes, the technique sort of changes with what I'm asked to sing. And that's sort of been my calling card throughout my career, because I started off doing mostly character roles, in some of the bigger houses in LA and like I was with Todd in San Francisco and San Diego. I did a lot of work with those companies. And
20 years ago in San Francisco, but who's counting?
Well, yeah, that was 20 years ago. My career started 40 years ago. So, I'm a little bit older than you are. And
we are all outing our ages like crazy on this interview.
I am totally okay with it because I approached the tail end of my career. Everything started with actually my listening to a recording of Luciano Pavarotti singing La Gioconda. And this was back in '79 when he was singing in San Francisco. And this is a lazy Sunday afternoon. I was taking a nap. I was a senior in high school. I was taking a nap. And when I woke up, I listened to this incredible music, and it was Pavarotti singing Cielo Amaro. So that was my epiphany. And so no pressure on you, Todd.
We'll just focus on Mr. Verdi right now.
Mr. I got hired by the Met. No worries.
So, that was my introduction to it. And my career is it's pretty close to 40 years now. I've done over 100 roles. My main emphasis has been California. We talked about, my being up in San Francisco for a good part of that. And I probably, most of my career has been in California. And the last 10 years or so of it have been in Southern California with Long Beach. I've done probably about 20 something roles with that company. My biggest was Show and Lie, because we ended up doing a lot of 20th century rep. So I did Show and Lie with them, and I also did it in Corona.
That's no easy role. I've been in that opera. Yeah. It's a pain.
That is a pain of a role, but boy, is it worth it. The music, honestly, the music still haunts me to this day. And if you will ask me if you ask me what my favorite opera is that I've sung in the last, 20 years, it would have to be that.
Yeah. Cheers, 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 cheers. No, that was a fun one. I liked that opera. I like the modern forays into opera. It's great. Well, that's fantastic. So are you guys singing anything? Are you doing, is there a trio for the three of you, or are there duets going on? What do we got in ensemble?
Well, we have the Macbeth, which is
nice.
Kind of the whole end of Act 2, yeah? It's just unbelievable. I was able to sing the role, fortunately. Stephen Lord conducting, and
I love him.
And it was challenge every single night. Like, I could not believe.
Yeah.
The sleepwalking scene is just nuts.
It is nuts. And what it asks from you dramatically, I think, is, that's why we love Verdi, right? Because he always he's always making drama. Because in that finale, it's like, you're covering up for the dissembling of Macbeth, right?
Yeah.
And in that irony that Verdi does so well with the party music kind of like mocking you at the same time that it dissembles.
Yeah. Her hatred and seething hatred behind that I've got it together face.
Exactly,
like,
right.
You don't get it together, I'm going to off you. What is wrong with you?
It makes Lucretia Borgia look like an amateur.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Fun to be a bad.
Yeah, totally. What are you guys doing a duet of any kind?
We're going to do the Beethoven duet from Fidelio.
Oh,
wow. And I'm doing. I know. Are you doing the aria? Are you doing the
I'm
aria?
not. I should have, but I'm not.
Okay. So I'm doing the tenor aria in the prison scene, which is an endless piece, and it's such a weird aria because it's actually in 3 parts, and each part is almost a different voice.
Yeah, it's a mini symphony, right?
It feels like 4 movements. Yes, sir. I mean, Beethoven, bless him, didn't write the best for vocal. We can say that out loud.
He wrote beautifully, I'm sure of that. But the Namenlose Freude, I'm like, nope.
Well, and even the 9th is kind of awkward for the vocals. I mean, the melody we know, but I'm talking the solo stuff, and where Verdi, Puccini, those guys knew exactly what vowel and where to set and how high and what we needed. Beethoven really, but anyhow, it is what it is. So, but yeah, so I'm excited to sing that, with her. And then I'm actually going to be going two weekends after that to do Beethoven 9th and other Fidelio excerpts with a small orchestra up in Palo Alto, or Paso Robles, called Symphony of the Vines. So it'd be nice to do, so I'll sing a lot of the Fidelio by the time the month of May is over, having never done it before. So that's what we do.
Fabulous. Well, I think everyone's going to be very excited for the concert. They're great music choices, of course, because Anne, she just has such a touch for drama and really getting the heart out, and making sure that people are really engaged. So, and I know your audience loves you. They've been there for the entire anniversary ride, some of them, right? Members going back the entire almost 40 years of the Verdi chorus. So, and of course, when you work a chorus like that too, they all have stories to tell. I bet they have great stories from you about you too.
Sorry about that.
No. So just to close and all, I'm very grateful for you all coming. If there was one thing you could tell an audience member about this concert, what would it be? Starting with Julie. Julie, what would you say to an audience member to get them to come?
I would say that the sheer inspiration that Anne-Marie Ketchum creates in not only in her programming, but her inspiration of the chorus and her leadership and this organization that is so unique and different and special, that you can never go wrong coming to a Verdi chorus concert. Never. I mean, I would say come to hear us, but I know that there are many other versions of this that have gone on for years and years that are equally as wonderful. So it's like, I would always just say it's foolproof, good music, great quality, good time. And also that it's such a wonderful opportunity to transport ourselves away from the world and what is happening in the world right now, to celebrate live music again, to so all of these reasons to come and soak in light, artistry, greatness, Verdi's greatness, many other composers' greatness, and the greatness of this organization. That's what I would say.
What about you, Todd?
Well, she said it all, but I would also add that even though it's not subtitled, allow oneself to come and be immersed in the music that it is. If you don't speak German or Italian or whatever language we're singing at the moment, it's okay. Feel the music, feel the presence. There's a little bio on the program that explains what that scene is about, and I think there's nothing that can compare to a live theater, to live being there. I mean, during the pandemic, the Met showed lots of videos of their opera stuff, and that was wonderful to keep patrons interested, but there's still that thing about going and getting there and then being immersed and hearing that echo when someone cuts off, and hearing that resonance and feeling that in your bones, and realizing that there's a higher power that music can give us all.
Yeah,
if we allow that.
Anna said that about the visceral feeling of the voice through the body. What about you, Roberto? What do you think?
That's exactly what I would say. Is that there's it's visceral, but it's more than that. It's really personal. There's a lot of emotion. There's a lot of, and it's because the Verdi chorus has really had such a great audience, a great faithful audience over the years. You're able to see the younger artists step up, do roles. They really foster young apprentices within the program to come up, and you really get an idea that this is more than just a performance. It's something that's very, very personal, like you said, visceral. You really do feel it. But I think more than anything else, you really feel like you're a part of what's going on stage. It's really a tremendous feeling to have, for a performing organization.
Well, I wish you all a great, big, huge toy.
Oh,
I know they're going to love you. And I wish you all luck in your careers. And follow me. I'm Opera Joe. I'm on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. I promote the arts. And if you have a project that you want to promote, just let me know. I want to get your voice out there.